And this was when we were in, the dojo was in downtown Lansing, in a way back neighborhood, Beach Street, next to some railroad tracks, kind of hard to find, but we did. And started going, and I was there until, I believe it was about 1990. That's my guess. And so Tammy and Dan were not just my teachers, they were kind of like life teachers. I came from a big family, and so I loved my parents and I loved my family, but getting direction as far as life skills and things, kind of learned on my own. And so then when I met them and I started working out, I learned more about who I was and how to approach life in a way that would keep me safe, and I believe helped me develop to who I am, who I'm really happy about who I am. I wish I could still be working out. I wish I wasn't as busy as I am so I had more time for me, but who I am and what they taught me and what I got out of Mid-Michigan Academy was an integral part of me becoming the adult I am. And so I'm really appreciative of both of them and all that they gave to me, their time, their talents, and all the people here that I met, whether it was directly through working out, Michelle, or indirectly by when I worked in the office for almost a year. All of your names are familiar just from sending out mailers and things. So anyway, it was a big part of my life, and I'm very appreciative that I met them and I got this experience. So probably just like many of you and some of you that are just starting out, take it all in, make it a part of you, because it makes us great people. Thank you, Tammy.
Thanks, Kim. That was so nice. Okay, Stephen Williams.
Wow, public speaking was never my thing. I'm just telling you that right now. The thing I love the most about Mr. Timlin is Mrs. Timlin, Dan, and Tammy. They give me the courage to start a school, want to be involved in the school. Their love for people and want to pass along information and teach people how to be great martial arts. That was a big thing, because that's like the book that Mr. Timlin had about Bruce Lee. I had the same one, except mine was a little older than him, so I had it a little bit longer, and I couldn't find it. And it was like forever trying to find a place to go. And by the time it's funny, I seen what the school was when it was on Beach Street. When I went to go to that school to get started over there, they moved to the Nautilus Center, and I'm going, okay, and I went over that way to figure out where it was at. So I go to the other place and then move from there. Okay, so it took a little bit, but it was like my lifelong dream to really do martial arts and get involved with JKD, and I love Bruce Lee enough. And somebody said, "Oh, I know how to do that." And I go, "Well, I want to know how to do that." It's like, seriously, it helped me a lot. Excuse me. But just being able to stand in front of people and convey, martial arts, being able to show them the love you have, you wanted them to understand why you have the passion for it. And once Mr. Timlin did that for me, it was like, it was a life changer for me. I don't know how to really explain it other than that, it's like having, after you have your class, your big old class, and then you have that talk after class was over with. I don't know how many times people work us out, so we couldn't walk half the time. We left out of the class, we sat down. And we sat down, we changed our clothes. It takes another 2 hours to get out of the building, but he'd sit, he'd talk to us. You know, he tells us about the philosophy of martial arts. And one of the things he stuck with me is this: everybody longs for discipline. That's one of the things he told me. He says, and he made me think about that. He says, otherwise, why would they have an alarm clock? Why would you need it? If you didn't have any discipline at all, why would you need it? You'll never accomplish a thing if you don't have discipline. And he says, once you get control of that, you'll be able to do a lot more things. So I'm like, okay, I get it. It kind of resonated with me. So I was like really happy with the fact that I was able to do that and been able to stand in front of the public and speak and tell them what I wanted them to understand. Been able to help students understand martial arts in general. And he says, and one of the other things he told me, he says, people don't care how much you know. You want to know how much you care. And if you really want them to care about what they're doing, you can invest some time with them. Okay, you're going to give them your best, and you're going to love you for it. Or they're going to hate you for it. More than likely, they're going to love you for it, because if they have the same desire that you have for martial arts, it's going to be easy peasy for them. They'll grab it and they'll hang on to it. And there's a lot of people in here in this room that I've probably met for the first time, or I've not seen in, I don't know, 15, 20 years, something like that. But, you know, it's good to see everyone. It's good to be here. And honoring my friend, Dan. And this probably was the easiest thing. I talked to Mrs. Timlin the other day, and just, you know, I just told her, I said, I wouldn't miss it for the world. Because he meant that much to me, personally. So, because he passed off a lot of information. He's my brother from another mother. You know, he is. And you know, I hold him near and dear to me. Okay. I wouldn't trade it. Anything that's happened between him and I, for nothing. Wouldn't trade it. It was awesome and a great experience. And hopefully you people that are just really getting started, martial arts, hey, fall in love with what you do. Fall in love with what you do. Want to do it right. Do your best. Challenge yourself. Easy thing. A little sweat never hurt nobody. A lot of sweat might.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, Michelle, come on up.
Michelle, my beat up. Don't tell me stories.
Okay. I started with Sensei Timlin and Tammy in 1983 when they were in the Nautilus Center. I started in the children's class. Then they moved over to Beach Street. And then about that time I merged with the adult class. I was about 14 or 15 when we merged with the adult class. And then Reggie and Steve used to beat me up all the time. That was really fun. So, but I guess a couple things that remind me of Sensei Timlin, and I never heard him say this to me exactly, but Winston Churchill, how he says, never give up. Never, 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 never give up. And that was his philosophy. And another thing is do no harm, but take no crap. And that was definitely how he lived his life as well. And I just hope that I'm able to continue his legacy, take those lessons with me. There's going to be different times in your life when you may not be able to do martial arts. I mean, when my children were little, I didn't practice. But that doesn't mean that you can't take the philosophical parts of it, you know, the discipline, the love for other people, helping other people. And I hope that I continue to use that throughout my life. When Sensei Timlin died, my mom, who just passed away 3 months ago, actually, she wrote a note to Tammy that said, you know, they basically raised me because I was there at the school for like 20 hours a week, because I would just go there after school and hang out all night, every day, 6 days a week. So the people that I train with are very, very special to me, still are, and I love Tammy. And so anyways, I'm just so blessed that we can still come together and remember Sensei and continue his legacy and take what he taught us and make the world a better place.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, anybody else want to come up and speak? All right. I'll just bring it right to you.
My name is Linda, and I'm Tammy's sister. And I just want to let you know that Mr. Timlin to me was just not only my brother-in-law, but he was just a great person all the way around, and he loved everybody. There wasn't anybody that crossed his path that he didn't have something decent to say about, or he taught in a way that just was marvelous. I mean, he just loved kids, and he wanted to make sure that they got everything out of life that they needed. Right now, my son is studying martial arts with my sister, and he's doing great. He just got his red belt, and I just, you know, it's hard to put into words, really, everything that these guys have been through and what they've done. And I just want to say that it's very special, the work that you've done, even Dan, through these years to help people, and especially for the kids. And I'm glad that we've got the scholarship program going to help underprivileged kids. That means a lot, and I'm glad that they're doing some of the scholarships. A couple of them are going to be for community mental health, because I've worked for community mental health for years, and it's very close to my heart. Steve's worked for, in fact, Steve was my son's first instructor when my son was young, when they were out on Logan Street, which is about Martin Luther King now. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm really privileged, I think, to have that from the community mental health, because we're trying to reach these kids that have so many problems that nobody can really understand. They have just ups and downs and needs that have to be met, that they're very special. They're just very special people. So, thank you, Sus.
Thank you. Okay, how about the middle table? All right, Bill.
Michelle, do no harm, take no crap. So, you know, I wasn't a member of the dojo. Dan was my friend from 7th grade, well on through, you know, and we kind of lost touch a little bit when he was so involved with his school, but he still sent me his emails, what was going on in the school and everything like that. And that summed up Dan. From the times that I would spend drinking beers with him at Irish pub, and he would love to talk his philosophy, and the times that I would spend in his basement, he would use me as his punching bag, and he would practice his kicks and things, and I would hold the bag for him. But you know, Dan was a really good friend, and what you said there really summed it up. He had this air of confidence about himself that he wasn't afraid of anyone, but he didn't need to prove it. And he loved everyone that knew how to love.
Yeah.
But he also realized that there's evil in this world too. And he wasn't afraid to stand up to that if he needed. And I never seen Dan throw a punch other than in practice. He didn't need to. And I think that what came from within him just radiated out of him. And people saw that. They knew that he meant business if that's what it took. And so, you know, Dan was a really great guy. And what Tammy is doing now is extremely impressive. I love it. And the books and everything else. And I can't wait to read, you know, Dan's accomplishments. He was really into self-confidence and goals, and pushing and never giving up. And so I just want to say that, you know, that's how I'll always remember Dan, or Sensei, or Sifu. He was my friend Dan, and so anyways, I miss him.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Dan.
Bill. Thanks, Bill. You want to say anything, Dave? Dave and Dan grew up together from little boys to the men.
Speaking in front of everybody's not my thing. I knew Dan from 4th grade right on up. We've done pretty much everything kids can do and then a little bit more. We got a lot. We got away with a lot, and we got caught. I remember vividly my mom calling Dan's mom, and we both got in a lot of trouble that day. It was not a good scene. I remember being in his basement. That was the first training area that he had. And we trained together, we played together, we knocked the crap out of each other. He was a great guy. He was a friend. We lost touch after high school for a few years, but I never stopped thinking about him. And I'm pretty sure he never stopped thinking about me, probably because we had issues. But he and Tammy, they took my one grandson in and were training him up over at their academy here. Unfortunately, he got out of that, but Dan was a good guy. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Okay, thank you. Dave can't tell some of the stories, so.
98%.
Okay, back table, anybody want to come up and say anything? Okay, Ramon and Jeremiah, come on up. Dave Hatch. You want to say? It's up to you.
Thing is, I don't even know if I'm gonna need the microphone.
You have a good voice. Yes, your voice projects.
You're not gonna sing, right?
No. I actually like most of the people in this room. I'm not gonna sing. So, no, it's kind of funny, talking about how we, knew Mr. Timlin, how we got started with him. You speaking about how he basically hunted him down, searched all over town. Us, it was kind of like accident. My son was 4 years old. We're like, we should probably put him in martial arts. Why not? Crystal's like, wasn't there a place on the corner in Okemos? And that's kind of how it got started. We kind of wandered in one day. We did an introductory lesson with Mr. Dobbins, and it just kind of went from there. And what would have been about 6 years later, I went from kind of just wandering around the class, had no idea what was going on, to help leading classes 5-6 nights a week. And it always kind of came by accident, because what Mr. and Mrs. Timlin was really good at was nudging you.
Yeah.
They would just kind of point you in the right direction. I would be sitting there in the class, Corey would be training. You should come hold pads. Okay, I can hold a pad, why not? Mm-hmm. You should, show somebody how to do this. Okay, I know how to do that. I guess I can do that. And it just kind of progressed and it snowballed from there. And then next thing you know, teaching the 5 and 6 year olds, I'm helping with the adult classes, I'm helping with the teenage classes, doing all the, the Christmas and July sales, all the down at the malls, and it kind of became a really big part of my life. And unfortunately, about 5 years ago, the real world kicked in and work said, "No, you're not training anymore. We're gonna start making you go all over the country, a lot of travel." So, no, it was really good. I was happy to be able to see everybody come in, because even though I'm not part of the dojo anymore, the dojo is still a big part of our family. So, that's all I'm gonna say on that one.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. The first thing, I don't know, sorry I cried. Because sometimes I feel grateful. Not to say goodbye to him. Not to give a hug. When I know he lived, I feel sad. I lost my parents when I was young. I feel sad to lose everyone in my life. But the first thing I want to say, thank you to God. Put people like you guys close to me. Sometimes when I was young, I passed many hard times. And when I went this academy, I learned a lot of things, helped me in my whole life. First, the strength in my mind, because I was very weak. When I know it, she gave me a lot of good, positive things, helped me in my life. And always I remember, I had my child growing up. It's helped me a lot, every time. Thank you first to God, thank you for you, thank you to be here, close to him, never left here alone. We never let him alone. I'm sorry, Miss Timlin, sometimes I don't have time to visit you, but I always be close more than you in my prayers. And thank you for this academy. Thank you for Mr. Timlin and God have in heaven.
Thank you, Rosa. Okay, Ramon.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, first of all, my name is Ramon. I think some of you guys might know me. And just like my wife was saying, you know, we're very thankful for you guys to be alive, to be born, to be part of our community, to be part of our families. And Mr. Timlin had a lot of gifts. He had a lot of talent. And he loved to pass that down.
Yeah.
He never kept it to himself. You know, he had a lot of patience. Boy, he had patience. And, you know, if I was him, I would have given up the first time. And he had a lot of patience. He watched you fail once, twice, throw a punch, miss the heavy bag, miss the focus mat, and he'll just walk by and laugh and just, you know, cheer you up. Every part of the academy, it's a gift to the community. The people that are involved, the students, the staff that works there, thank you, Tiffany. You're doing a great job, man. I would not imagine you, little teen, running around the school. You became a wonderful woman now that you are. You know, I'm sure your mom is very proud of that. Thank you to some of my partners, Tammy. You know, you helped me out with a lot of my punches, my grappling, my stick work. I stink at it. You know, I still stink. You know, Mr. Carpenter over there too. You know, you had a lot of patience with me too. Especially my English is not that great, and boy, you guys have a lot of patience with me. You know, you guide me through it. You help me, and I appreciate that. So now it's our turn for all of us, you know, that we're here and the ones that couldn't make it, to still pass that down to our generations, to our kids, to our grandkids, to our neighbors. We live in a world where we really need a lot of Dans and a lot of Tammys. Unfortunately, we can't clone them yet, but it's coming. So hopefully, you know, down the road we can have a whole room full of people, full of students, and just still keeping his legacy alive. You know, he's not gone. He might not be here physically, but he's in one of you guys' heart, he's in mine, and he's in every single student that has stepped in the school. He's still alive, so we just bring it back. Thank you.
Okay, Dave Hatch. Dave was a private lessons student with his wife back in '83, right, Dave?
85.
85, okay. Whew, many years ago.
Well, my name's Dave, and it's my wife Linda sitting here with me. First of all, I want to thank Tammy for keeping this legacy going. All these notes and tapes and everything, and I'm on some of them. It's kind of cool.
Yes, you are.
But we first met Dan was back in 1985 when he brought Guru Dan and Santo here in Michigan. And we were, of course, like already Bruce Lee fans. Gotta go Bruce Lee. And so we thought, hey, this is the closest we're gonna get to Bruce Lee, because by then he passed away. And then he also had this thing, Filipino martial arts. We thought, hey, you know, we were already in karate and we had our black belts. And we thought, we didn't know much about weaponry. So we thought we should go to this. Especially Linda wanted to learn more about the knife. So we went there, and it was kind of enthusiastic. It was someone was at U of M, was it? No, Michigan State. Michigan State. There was like 120 some people there at the time. It was packed. And to see Guru Dan, it was sort of like, oh, can we go up and talk to him? God, it was like, and Timlin just came up to me. I talked to Dan, you know, realizing he's the one who's sponsoring it. He says, no, you can go right up there and talk to him. Nothing to it. Are you kidding? You know, he's the man. But Dan was so helpful with us, and realizing how tough it was to learn these arts. Dan offered some private lessons for us, so we came with some of our friends and do the private lessons. So it was first at the one, was it the Beach Street one? It was just like a garage thing. And then later it was in Logan.
Yes.
So we were doing that, and then he helped me get used to going to Guru Dan seminars that he had in other areas, and what to do to become an instructor in Guru Dan. But I always wanted to give him credit because he's the one that introduced us to Guru Dan. We thought it was so important, and that's why we want to honor him for that reason alone, just that man. And he was always, like everybody was mentioning, he was positive, always supportive. He was like that with us, and we'd share different things we learned from other seminars, business seminars and stuff, things like from Jim Rohn and things, how to be positive and how to work towards goals, setting, and everything else. So it was great to have that. I'm glad to see that he's got so much stuff that he's gathered, all that knowledge, you know, that you're keeping it together and passing it on. So, yes, I'm glad you have this to honor him, and I'm more than honored myself to be here to help support Dan and his legacy.
Thank you, Dave. Anybody from table one? Okay, Tammy. Tammy True has been a member for a long time, and it's so good to see her.
Oh, thank you. I'm an old girl. Let me see. I kind of always had this curiosity about martial arts, you know, inspired by Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I just took one private lesson and one kick on a clap pad, and I was like, so give me that. Like, whatever all this is, give it to me. And, you know, you start off with the physicality of it. It's a good workout, and keeps me in shape, gives me something different to do. And with time, you figure out that somehow it's worked on your confidence, your mentality, your spirituality. And you've just gotten this opportunity to meet all these kind of like-minded people. And I think that's why, whether you're in the dojo or out of the dojo, you still feel like you're a part of the dojo, because nobody understands the experience really, except for the people that, you know, you did push-ups with, you grappled to the ground, you inadvertently smacked their knuckles with your Kali stick. Sorry, Tiffany. Hi. You do all these things, and yet you still come out friends. And it's just such a special place. It's a haven. And it really was true what they said, you know, when you switched out of your street clothes and then you put on your uniform and you tied that belt, nothing else mattered. You could just leave it and come out on the floor, do your thing, and just feel so much better. And then along with that, you had your wisdom of the week, your word of the month, all the positivity that I think it's easy for the outside world to distract you from. Master of mindset, if you will. And I think that's one of the better things in life that you can have, because we all get stressed out. And I know when I'm at work and something's bothering me, I actually do this, don't tell anyone. But I go into my room, I shut the door, and I'm like, I'm a gosh darn black belt. Why would I even let that bother me? Get it together. And just reset myself. And so I think of Mr. Timlin every day. I love that man. He was nothing I expected. I did not see Mr. Timlin until I took my black belt test. And I was like, who is that? And he said, oh, that's Mr. Timlin. And I was like, oh my God. I've been working out in front of his pictures for like 3 years. And so like, I was in the middle of having like an anxiety attack and then, you know, doing the things, and I was like, okay. And then when I got into black belt class and got a chance to spend time with him, he would like tell a joke, and I was like, oh. And you saw this other side of him, and he was just like my favorite, like, oh my gosh, once you hit that black belt class, he was just like my favorite person in the world. I was like, let's go see Mr. Timlin make Mr. Dobbins throw Mr. Reamer 5 times across the room just for fun today. And he just taught a lot, and he shared a lot, and it was just such a special thing to actually get to know him and have him in your life. So I think those are things that no one can say thank you enough about, you know, so thank you. The fact that so many people can be reached. I hope books reach everyone. I hope everyone goes out and shares what a good experience it is. I know at my workplace, I tell everyone all the time, stressed, take martial arts. Feeling unorganized, take martial arts. Pretty much it's my script to solve all problems. So I'm like, just try it, you'll love it. And I work in Okemos, so I have this ability to say, just go down the street. It's easy. So, God bless you both.
Okay, you guys, we have like a few more minutes. If anyone wants to say anything, we got maybe time for one more. If not, then I guess we'll adjourn our day for today. I thank everyone for coming out. I really appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed yourself and got a little bit more insight as to who Mr. Timlin was and still is in his legacy, and all the things that I'll be doing. I'll keep everybody updated. If you are not on our mailing list for emails, you can sign up here. And then also, if you would like to be on the podcast coming up with Dwight, please sign up here. It also has a yes or a no. And then if you want to do a podcast on your own, you can also tell me if you want to do that. Okay, is that good for everyone then? Okay, thank you all for coming. I appreciate it very much.